We are at 91 participants, 9 more. Who's getting on? Who's taking those last spots? All
Oh,
right.
you can
Good
see? Oh,
evening.
yeah, you unmuted me. Hi.
Good
Oh,
evening. Hello.
I just walked in the door from being over at the kids. So how's everybody doing? Oh, oh,
We're we're all great. We're so
fun.
excited to have you here with us. Go ahead and get your lip gloss popping. Okay.
I had to get everything. I got my reds. I have my dog. I'm here.
Look, I got my Reds and my dog too. So we are ready for this. We have the Money Squad here. They are lighting up the comments. We are super, super excited to have you here. So thank you so much.
Thank
Um,
you.
to the squad, obviously someone who needs no introduction to us at all. But we may have a few new people who are on who haven't got to hear the queen. So Pam, thank you. Welcome to the Money Squad. Why don't you take a couple minutes for those who are new, because those are the only people who don't know who you are. Why don't you tell us a little bit about you?
Well, first of all, I love your name, the Money Squad. That I feel like in the last probably 5 years, that has become my thing is let's get over ourselves and let's manifest all this money. So I hope
Amen.
all of you are ready for that. I have no problem talking about it. I have no problem receiving it. And I've never had anybody give me a check back. So I think we're pretty clear. But I am one of the co-founders of It Works Global. Prior to that, I was in the same business Mark Pentecost was in for 6.5 years. It was a service-based company called Excel Telecom, based out of Dallas, Texas. Network marketing company. That's where I cut my teeth on the industry, first found out about it, fell in love with it. It gave me the ability to work from home, be with my 2 kids, and make unlimited income. And that's why I love this industry. I love direct sales, network marketing, influencer marketing, whatever you want to call it today. And then through the friendships that I made in that company, I discovered the wrap, that crazy wrap thing, the ultimate body applicator. Mark and I came together in March and we started It Works Global in 2001 without any thought of where it would go. We just knew we had a product that worked. We had enough energy to make it happen. And here we are today. I mean, 19 years later, I'm still as excited about it as I ever was. We got full on mojo going right now. The opportunity is vast and big, and we want to capitalize on that. Very few times in our history will you have this kind of mojo going. We've had it several times. It's back. It's even bigger and more vast than ever before. So I'm telling you, let's get this party started. I know you have some questions.
Yes, I absolutely have some questions. So let me say this to the squad. We are maxed right now. So great job of being on to get this juice. Light up the comments with your questions. I'm going to get started with mine. And Pam wants to answer the question. She's here. So get your question out there. So I was actually, because you talked about manifesting money, I was listening to a podcast from earlier this year, back in February, I think. And one of the things you talked about was looking and feeling like a millionaire. And so you talked about manifesting your blessing, right? When
Yeah.
you move your feet. Can you talk to the squad a little bit more about that? Because obviously our name is Money Squad. We're here for the money. At least that's why we started. We found
Right.
so much more than that. But help the team understand what that means.
All right. So you kind of broke up a little bit on that first part. What was that again? You listened to a podcast.
Yep,
Yeah.
from February.
Okay.
Where you were talking about looking and feeling like a millionaire. So basically
Oh, yes.
manifesting your blessing before
Yes.
you get there.
And I just posted yesterday. Let me pull it up because I talked about it um, as well on Monday night. This is so good. You can have anything you want as long as you already have it.
Mm.
Okay. So you can have anything you want as long as you already have it. So here's where we go with this. You can become a millionaire as long as you already are.
I
Okay?
love that.
You can become a millionaire as long as you already are. Here's a great example. Most of us are married. Most of us planned a wedding. You know, it's all different levels of a wedding. It could have been just going to the where you go in justice of the peace. It doesn't matter. You still had it in your mind. You were Mrs. before you were Mrs. Remember that?
Wow.
You
Wow.
remember
Yep.
that? You were Mrs. before you were Mrs. You dreamt about it. You had this vision of it. You acted different. Almost the minute they put that ring on your finger, you're married. You my father said to me, he goes, about 2 months after I got married, he goes, "What happened to you? Don't be so serious. You're just married." And I realized I had like acting married, you know, just acting like I'm supposed to be different. So it's every in every doctrine throughout the scriptures. It's if you are into self-development, they talk about it. Here's the best way that I know. Whenever I truly desired, see, what I have learned about desire, if it wells up within you, then it's yours. It's yours. You
Wow.
can't imagine. It wouldn't be there if if it if it wasn't already yours. You couldn't even imagine it if it's so there for you. Whatever you envision. Oh, but gosh, Pam, it's yours. It's yours. So it's like an architect. An architect dreams of a building, and then he puts it to paper. He draws out the blueprint. And if he doesn't draw out the blueprint, it's never going to happen. That building's not going to be, it's just a wish. That's all it is. So when I want something, if you saw my journal, you would go, she's a little crazy. But I've learned that this is how I do it. I have like in my journal, and I'll show you my blueprint. And so what I did is I would highly recommend, if you don't have a journal, it doesn't matter. You can just get a piece of your kid's paper. It's all irrelevant. I wish I had it right out. I'm going to find it because I want to show it to you. But it's my blueprint. So when I want something, I'm going to keep it really, really simple for me. I'm going to find it for you in just a minute. But so I draw out a blueprint. Your blueprint could be your chart. Okay, it could be your chart to go to the next level. And you'll know in your business when you're not moving, when you're not growing, you're not charting.
Mm-hmm.
You just stopped. You're just putting customers on a piece of paper. You're just putting distributors on a piece of paper. There's no blueprint. There's no guide. And this is how we all manifest. This is how everything comes into fruition. So I know that first it's a desire. Oh my gosh, where did that come from? That welled up within me. And a lot of times you stifle it. You say, that's not going to happen. It comes up within you. Then your mind goes, no way, too big, not going to happen. Okay, so we're working with two different things here. Usually comes up in our heart, and our mind says, but how? How is that going to happen? We need our mind. We love our mind. It's a part of us. However, it's negative most of the time. It's in the program of what we heard when we were growing up. Who do you think you are? Money doesn't grow on trees. That's not going to
Mm-hmm.
happen for you. Nobody in my family's ever been a millionaire. All of these things. And so I know those thoughts are there for me. I'm no different than anyone else. I was raised not in a great family, but not in a family of wealth. A family, middle class family. Dad worked 2 jobs. Mom stayed at home. We had 1 car for a long time. So it wasn't like money wasn't everywhere. It was at times very tight. That's when you saw the arguments happen. So I could have gone in the opposite direction of where I am today. But
Mm-hmm.
something within me was a strong desire to do differently, to be differently. And so I learned through all the self-development that if I didn't have a chart, a blueprint, a diagram, something in writing that I wrote down my hearts and dreams and desires, then I was all over the place. I was scattered. I was scattered. And
Mhm.
so I still do that on occasion. And then I wonder why I'm spiraling, because you forget, things work and then you forget that they work.
Mhm.
When you were promoting, you were charting and then you stop doing it. You're
Yeah.
like, oh, I'm so tired. I don't want to do that anymore. And then you just
Mhm.
spin, you
Yep.
get stuck. And then you call me, you go, I've been stuck for 2 years. What? Then you stop doing what you were doing to get to where you were. So I write it out. I draw it up. I have like a heart around the middle of what it is. And then out from that, I have another heart that says this and then this. And then, so you want to be a millionaire. How would that millionaire dress?
Mhm.
Okay. How would that millionaire, have you seen millionaire closets? Are they cluttered?
Nope. Very
Mhm.
organized.
They're organized.
Mhm.
Pocketbooks, you can see all those handbags and the shoes and
Mhm.
everything's in alignment. The colors are
Mhm.
coordinated. Okay, so you're going to go do that. I don't care if you're the last bag you bought was TJ Maxx, because that was me for a long time.
Mhm.
But I cleaned out the clutter,
Mhm.
because this is what I've learned. If there's no space for new, then you're not going to bring in the new.
Hey, that's a word. Love that.
Yeah. If there's no space. So we've all heard that nature abhors a vacuum. It doesn't like a vacuum. What does that mean? It if it like Jesus said, God said that if you want the rain, dig the ditches. Dig the
Mhm.
ditches. So they dug the ditches, sitting around like, where's the rain? Finally, the rain came and filled up the ditches. So you want the rain to pour? Your rain is money. So in order for it to pour, you got to get ready for it.
Mhm.
So how do you get ready for it? You clean out the clutter. You want a new car, you want to keep the one you got looking pristine. I don't care if it's falling apart. Hey, my car's all, I drove a car that I had to the lights didn't work, but you couldn't tell it was that old
Mhm.
because it looked good. And these are just principles that I have followed. And the area that you work in, the space that you work in, you want more business. If you've got piles, you're saying, I'm overwhelmed. I am too busy. I've got too much. Well, then how are you supposed to get more? How are you supposed to get more? So if you look at millionaires' desk, very few are cluttered or disorganized. They're very organized. So we want to be that person way before we're there. And the quicker you get into all of this, the faster it will come. So then I always went to, every year we talk to our accountant. I mean, we're home-based entrepreneurs. We need to set ourselves up for taxes, right?
Mhm. Yep.
And I used to tell my husband, I can't wait till I pay $1 million in taxes. And a lot of
Yeah.
you go, why would you want to pay $1 million in taxes? Well, because I know if I'm paying 35%, then I
Uh-huh.
made a lot of money.
Yep.
So we got to change the way we think about that.
Mhm.
We've got to, I do want to pay that because I know that I've got at least 4 million coming in.
Mhm.
Yes, I'll be glad to pay the government. So I would sit down with the accountant, we would map it out, and every year I would tell them what I was going to make ahead of time. And it always happened because I set the goal, I set the intention, I got prepared for it. He was going to take the taxes out to pay those quarterlies for me. I, I mean, the money had to come in. I was going to be paying that. I've already put it out there. So when I learned these basic principles, I cleaned up my clutter. I made room for the newer bags. I got rid of the bags that no longer represented me in that form. If it's one t-shirt that looks amazing, get it and get rid of the others. It's not about having a lot. It's about having a few great pieces. And so we know that clothes are a part of it. We know that shoes are a part of it. We know that cleanliness is a part of it. We know that getting organized at our desk is a part of it. We know that keeping ourselves clean is a part of it. And then what's the work part? Do you think that people in that position don't follow up? No, they follow up and they follow through. They show up because I'm telling you, if you're not following up, then you're telling the world that you don't care and that you're not ready. It's a way of procrastinating, that you don't really want it. See, I always looked at follow-up like, this is my next $1 million rock star. And if I don't call today and I'm not showing up today, going through these, then I'm not going to be getting any more leads. It just works that way. So I follow up, I follow through, I show up when I say I'm going to show up, and I've got my roadmap. I've got my chart. That chart is expected to be full by this specific date. And I go to work on that chart. And when you do that, it's like the world opens up and people start pouring in. Dead people come alive. New people start, oh, I just saw you on Instagram. Now, this may take months because you may have been years of not doing any of this. And another thing, we just got to grow up. You know, I said this the other night, we got to get mature here and grow up and realize that nobody's going to give us anything. And if they do, it's never what we want. It's never going to be what you truly want. So I grew up and said, all right, I'm not going to whine anymore. I'm not going to complain anymore. I'm going to go to work on me. I'm going to develop me to the best possible place and person I can be. I'm willing to take a hit, which means I did something wrong. I want to admit it, clean it up, and move forward. I want to really clean. I don't want that to carry on with me. I don't like to carry things through more than a day or so because it just weighs on my mind. I do the things I don't like to do first, like work out with my trainer. Let's do that first because I know it's going to hurt. And then once I'm done, I feel so good. If there's aspects of the business that just seem to pull the guts out of you, do that first. Just do that first. But once you do that, you feel like you own your day. It's just so amazing. So these are all the things that I did way before the money showed up. But I can save you a lot of time because if you're here and the money's here and you've got this gap, you can be doing like this, or you can go just like this and close that gap fast. And the way that you do it is everything I just said. What is out here is a reflection of what's going on in here. So if I see a lot of mess, I see a lot of clutter, I'm seeing mess and clutter, disorganization. It might not be your greatest skill, but quit using that as an excuse. We all can learn to be better at this. It just depends on, hey, how bad do you want it?
How bad do you want it? Yeah.
How bad do you want it? All right. Good question.
I love that. I feel like we just read a book in that 20 minutes. There's so many jewels. The comments are lighting up. I know that a lot of Money Squad is going to be posting pictures of them decluttering their lives now.
Yes, and that's what you want to see. You want to show your team that, you know, I just cleaned up my desk. I just cleaned out my closet, and give your clothes away because that's a sign of prosperity. Give them away to somebody else that needs them. You don't sell them. it's a sign of prosperity. You're telling the world, I'm giving you, you were going to receive 100-fold, 100-fold. Everything you give, be in a charitable spirit.
Love that. Absolutely love that. So, so, so many things to follow up with that. I'll ask,
Okay.
in we talked about, really the posture and the mindset of a millionaire. So, what are maybe there's one or two books that you can say that really just fundamentally shifted your thought process, right? Because we're deprogramming and reprogramming
Yeah.
in to fill that gap. Do you have a couple that you would share with us?
Well, I've kind of changed my, I think that a lot of people, I definitely know, it's such a classic, and you have to read it and read it and read it again. But it's the book Think and Grow Rich. I
Mhm.
mean, the title itself by Napoleon Hill, it's a classic. I mean, everyone that I know that's on stage, really doing the thing, walking the walk, has read that book and read that book and read that book. And again, it's just so much in there, because he talked to other millionaires, even though it's as old as it is still a classic book to read. And then there's so many. Gosh, what? Let me try to. I'm looking over at all my piles to see. I just interviewed It Takes What It Takes, Trevor Moad, and he's going to be on my podcast. He just wrote a new book. He's a coach for high level athletes like the Russell Wilson, who was the quarterback for Seattle. And he talks about a really cool concept called neutral thinking. And don't say, now he says this word, but he says don't say stupid shit out loud, because he's mainly talking to men in a locker room. That's who he's talking to. But I'll just say don't say stupid stuff out loud. And so what he found is, through studies, that when we think something like, oh, that was just so stupid, or I shouldn't have done that, or I feel so dumb right now, or why did I make that play, or why did I talk to her? And when we say negative things in here, it's not as profound, but when we say them out loud, it's 40 to 70% more powerful and will come true. And so he was talking about this. A lot of the men will know this. This ball player just died. He was a baseball player, and he was they found a prior interview where they were going to, what do you call when you, in baseball? It's not Super Bowl, but what is it in baseball?
World
The World
Series.
Series. They were in the final game of the World Series, and he was being interviewed, and they found this old interview. And in the interview, he said, yeah, wouldn't it be a shame if the ball went through my legs and I missed the play, and they in the final inning, and they made a run. And that's exactly what happened.
Wow.
The ball went through his leg. I mean, the guys were in the locker room of his team celebrating the win. They had already changed out of their uniforms because they knew they had it in lockdown. But the ball went through his legs. He missed the ball, and they made the runs, and the other team ended up winning. Well, years later, they found this interview where he called it out, but he said it before it ever happened. So how many times do we do that? So I think this is a good book to really open up our mind. So It Takes What It Takes by Trevor Moad, Moawad. And then you'll hear him on my podcast coming up. But how many times do we talk awful about ourselves and say it out? And, oh, I bet she'll never join. Oh, I bet that will never oh, that won't happen for me. So it's 40 to 70 times more powerful that will be a truth for you. It's kind of like
Wow.
a subconscious call out. Yeah.
Yeah. That's a perfect segue into my next question, which
Okay.
has to do with no, right? No is a part of our business. So help us to understand from a millionaire mindset, what is the translation of no? How should we be taking no's?
Well, I think you should just get over it, because I was just at my grandson's and I said no 1,000 times and they just kept playing.
Yep.
They just kept poking and throwing and playing, and it just that bounced right off of them. Why do we later take that so badly?
Yeah. Yeah. There are so many things that we should probably take back to kind of that childhood mindset
Oh,
of,
absolutely. You'll free up your mind.
yeah.
You know, when I think about it, no to me means no, not yet.
Hmm.
Not, I'm not at this time. Because if you go into the asking process with the right attitude, you're going to win bigger than big. And
Hmm.
so I learned this uh, through a lot of rejection. I sold IBM computers in the 80s, and I went through some magnificent training in Atlanta, Georgia, at the IBM headquarters. And they taught us about the rule of numbers, and it's a numbers game.
Hmm.
Ours is too. And I love that because I love games. I love playing games. I love thinking about life being a game. And if we can get back to that attitude of no, is I've never died from it. I've heard it all my life. Why did I suddenly take me so serious and so
Oh, yeah.
personal? You take think about it when you get indignant. I mean, who are you to do that? They just said no. They didn't say it to you. They said it to the
Wow.
opportunity, to the they didn't say, they didn't reject you. So here you are taking all this like you're all this and a cup of tea. No, I'm sorry, you're not. And I realized that no, it had nothing. No, they're not buying. They don't want your computer, Pam. They don't need it. Oh, okay. So I'm not going to walk out of there. I'm just going to because the next place I go might. So they said if you go to 10 new accounts a day, just you're going to win. And I won every contest, every fountain pen they gave away because for some reason I believed him. I said, well, that just makes perfect sense to me. I'm just not going to worry about it. And I know people thought she's crazy. We just said no. And she went out of here smiling
Hmm.
because I knew 9 out of 10 would say no. One would say yes. Possibly I could get at least in the door. So I just had my numbers going.
Yeah.
And that was it. Same with this business. And I also learned over time because you're so diligent in your work and you continue to grow and build, and your business starts to grow and build because you went through the numbers, the no's eventually said yes. And you've all known it, you've all seen that. Look, you're somebody coming to them with all your past, and that's what they remember. Unless
Hmm.
there's somebody that just doesn't know you at all. But then they just see your pictures and they think they know you. So I show up suddenly in network marketing expecting all of my friends and family to suddenly be all excited about it for me. No, she's flipped her lid. What is she doing? Why is she doing this? What's wrong with her? Oh my gosh, is she going to talk about this all the time? No, I will not be your customer. No, I don't want anything that you have. And eventually they all joined, but not in the beginning because they knew me as this person, not this new person. And so I knew too, I didn't need to change like my father told me. Why are you being so serious?
Hmm.
Why did his daughter suddenly get married and she lost her fun? So we suddenly get into this business and we become someone different. They're like, this is getting a little too weird. So be yourself in the ask. But I realize this too. I won this game and am winning this game because I ask more than anyone. That's it. And then if I got a no, I dug a little deeper. I said, okay, so what are you saying no to? What part of this are you saying no to? And they would go, what? I said, yeah, what about it are you saying no to? I'm trying to get better at this. I just want to understand. And so they would usually say something kind of flip, like, well, I don't have the money. And we all do exactly what we want to do. We find the money. If we want something, we find the money. Y'all all do. You know you do. Oh, I'm just too busy. Well, that's an excuse.
Hmm.
Because we all know we thought we were too busy till we joined. And then suddenly time came up. We had the time to do it. So it's usually the third or fourth thing. And it usually came down to, I just don't think I'm capable, or I'm too fearful. So if I asked, then I could get to the root of it. And then a lot of times I could turn it, not manipulate it, but turn it. Oh, I felt that way. I felt that way too. I didn't think I could do it either. I was so scared. And then we could have a deeper, more profound conversation. And they still may say no, but I left them with such a different attitude.
Hmm.
Instead of a weirdness, or is she ever going to talk to me again? It was, I listened. I listened and left. I didn't burn a bridge. Never burn a bridge. I taught my children that. Never burn a bridge. It is, there's, you always want to leave that bridge open for more conversation. So go after everyone in such a fun way. Ask, become professional at asking.
Yeah.
Yes.
Ask more than anyone else. Love that.
Oh,
Love
you're
that.
going to win. You're going
Yeah.
to be at the top.
Uh-huh.
It's impossible not to be. I wish I could say you were that good, but I would just say you're good at asking.
Good at asking. Love
Persistent
it.
at asking. Yes.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you so much. So there is the next question from the squad, really about when we think about team leadership. So we come across so many people, and I've heard you talk about, really recognizing your team and being a blessing to them, whether they're in for 2 days or 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
But this is about, I'm leading somebody who has great potential, but they won't go off on their own and just run in that potential. They're still leaning. How do you deal with that?
Well, all right. So first of all, how do you know they have great potential? You know, even all of us can have great potential, but that doesn't mean we're going to be a swimmer, Olympic
Mhm,
swimmer. We all could be one if we started at age 4, but
mhm,
we might not have that desire. So a lot of times we project our thoughts of their potential on them
mhm,
when
mhm.
it's not there for them. They don't really want it. So we're more like wishing that they wanted it. We need it comes from almost a place of need. I need them to want it because I know that they could do it. Everyone can do this. We have already said that. We've shown that. You can see by the people that walk across the stage,
Mhm.
all walks of life, everyone can do it, but they don't. And so what I realized is I would tell people, I have such faith in you. You have everything that, and this, you could have this conversation with everyone on your team. You have all the potential that it takes to build this business, but for some reason you're not utilizing it. Why? What is the reason?
Mhm.
Why are we too afraid to confront them? Do you know that every level of increase that I've had, it's because somebody asked me a direct question like that.
Wow.
They saw something in me that I did not see in me. And they came to me with, why are you not going to college? Why do you feel like you're not worthy of college? I had a teacher ask me that. And it shocked me because she said, I see all this potential in you, all these possibilities in you. And I went.
Mhm.
Something elevated in me that moment, and I went. And there's so many times in my life where one sentence, and sometimes it was one of those that, how did you get him? Or how did that happen for you? And I'm like, oh, I'll show you. So sometimes it's the opposite, that I think God sends that little angel in your life just to wake you up out of a coma
Hmm.
and to get you fighting for what you want. So I think it's if I see somebody I want in my business too, I will go, I want you. I want you in this business. We could partner. You would be absolutely amazing. There's everything, I see everything about you that I see in myself. Let's do this thing. And they're like, nobody's ever talked to me that way. Nobody's ever poured into me that way. So I truly believe be bold and be honest and go after it. And if they're still sitting on the pot doing nothing, move on.
Hmm.
Why are you waiting around for somebody else's potential to get hot for yourself? I love our entire team, but I am not waiting for you. Mark is
I
not
love that.
waiting for you.
Yeah.
We don't call you up and go, you motivated today? Or, you want to get started today? No, we're already on fire. It's when we stop doing what we're doing and look back at our team expecting them to be doing it.
Ah, yeah.
It's like with your children, you don't brush your teeth and you're expecting them to. Forget it. Your team, for some reason, they know when you take 2 days off. I don't know how they know it. You're acting like you're showing up, but the energy is not there. And if it goes on for another week or 2 weeks, you're going to start losing them. They're going to start dropping. And yeah, you're that important to your
Mm.
team. You really are. So you set the pace. You set the pace. You set the desire. And so what I knew is I had to show up every day for me. If I showed up for me, did all the things for me, my team would do all the things for themselves. And that's really what we want. I don't want a bunch of babies. I don't want
Yeah.
to babysit. I don't want to try to push and pull. I don't want to motivate. I am not a psychologist or a psychiatrist. Do not come to me. I will flat out tell you to go hire one, but I'll show you how to make $1 million. If you want to do that, go get your head right and come back and get in the game. But we spend way too much time because we're women doing that. That's not our job. Best thing you can do is say, you need to go to a marriage counselor for that. That's not who I am. That's not my job. Love you, appreciate you. But if you want to talk business, that's why I'm here. I'm here to talk business.
That's so good. Separating that, right? Because we
Yes.
get in on all levels, you separate the emotions from the no, separate the emotions from the business,
Mm-hmm.
and really just go after what you want, right? And the
Yeah.
consistency of show up for yourself every day. I love
Yeah.
that. Absolutely love that. The one of the things that I think we see more often, which you just kind of hit on, is where we struggle with self-confidence. So where we might struggle to show up every day because we're struggling with our self-confidence. And we know that we can improve that with self-development, hopefully in prayer and spending time with God. Have you experienced that in your career, and how did you overcome it?
Oh, all my life. Especially if you're stretching and growing, which if you're not feeling a lack of self-confidence or if you're not feeling fear, you're too comfortable.
Mm.
Your paycheck's not growing, your closet's not growing, your car's not changing, your friends are stagnant, the
Mm.
joy's not there. And so we're here on this earth to create. God creates through us. Think about it. I don't see him building anything personally. He comes through us to build that building.
Mm.
That desire comes from him through us, but he's not out striking those stones up there and putting those bricks together, is he?
Right.
I think that we're all sitting here waiting for him to do it when he's already said, I've already given you the miracle.
Yeah.
Use it. Here it is. It's called It Works. Now,
Hmm.
I've given it here, now go build it. And we're all waiting for him. He's already given it to us. And that's how I look at it. Oh my gosh, you gave me this brain to use. You well up these desires in me. And So now, and then when you get complacent, he's like, I am so bored with you. You can feel it. You like your spirit's not on fire. He's so bored. He's like, I'm gonna walk out of you if you don't get busy, and that means life is over. Have
Mm.
you ever had retired people just sit down and not do anything, and then
Wow.
they die? Why? Spirit left. I'm out. Peace out. That's how I look at it. That's powerful right there.
That is. Where
Understand
is,
that.
yeah.
Yes.
What are you doing for the kingdom? What are you building? What are you growing? You got to move your feet. Don't stop
You have to
moving your
move
feet.
your feet. You're waiting for the lightning to strike. It already has. You were, the moment you were born, the lightning was struck. It gave you everything you needed.
Hmm.
Everything you needed. And you're sitting here praying and begging. Allow. It's art. Haven't we always heard everything's already been created?
Yep.
Haven't we heard that?
Hmm.
Everything's already been created. So what the heck does that mean? It's already there. We just allow it in.
Yeah.
We're the instrument to allow that in. Like Jesus could see the fields before they were ever, he said, no, they've already, we don't have to wait 4 months. They're already there.
Yeah.
See, he could see that. So it's already there. Just allow it. And so
Hmm.
your affirmations should be, I just got this the other day and I'm blown away. I can hardly sleep. I'm so excited. We'll say, I am a millionaire. We've been told I am, anything after it's ours. But we say I am a millionaire, we're looking around going, but not really.
Yeah.
uh, I feel like I'm lying. It's hard to get in the spirit of that. And we're told, get in the spirit of that. Come on,
Hmm.
own that, be walk in that. And I've been one to teach that. But I heard just the other day, and this just blew me away. And I thought about all the times is one of the best ways to use affirmations is, why is everyone joining my team? Think about it. Didn't that make you feel different? Then I am building the biggest team and it works. There's nobody in it.
Yeah.
What? Why is everyone joining? Why am I getting all these customers? And then, it starts opening up, and then you're like, here they come, here they come. Cammie came to me one day and she said, what does it look like? I have $100 bill, $1 million bill on my forehead. Why are all these people coming to me? I had two twins. I couldn't tell them apart. They were in their 30s. And one said, why am I getting all the customers? And why is she getting all the distributors? And I said, switch. And then a couple months later, they came back to me and they said, can we switch back? And I'm like, I didn't know I was that powerful. And I'm like, what do you mean, can we switch? But she said, well, you said she was getting the customers. Now I want to get customers because I got all the distributors and we want to switch back. But it was, why am I getting all these customers? Why am I getting all these distributors? So why is my business growing so fast? Why is my check increasing by the thousands? And then you're opening up the possibilities. It's a higher energy. It's more expectancy. And then you just experiment with it. Why is everyone all of a sudden calling me? Why is everyone all of a sudden following me on Instagram? Don't you ever, when stuff starts happening, you ask that question, like,
Hmm.
why did that just happen for me?
Hmm.
Why are all these guys chasing me all of a sudden? Because what happened, you got a little taste of that, which opened up the possibility. And that it opens up it feels more real. Why am I, when I'm cleaning out my closet, why do I feel so excited about all the new stuff that's coming? So let's try it, because to
Yeah.
me, it just it's more fun. So what do you want? Give me something you would really like to have happen.
You know, why am I signing so many distributors?
Yeah. Why?
Yeah.
Why am I signing so many new distributors?
Yeah. I love it. I
And,
feel
and,
good
and you
saying
don't
that.
even, yeah, you can feel it. There's a shift in your
Yeah.
energy. And so you don't even try to answer it. You just smile. It's like,
Yeah.
I don't
Uh-huh.
care. They're coming. Here they come. So why are all these people suddenly showing up in my business? Why is my team on fire? Why is this team that wasn't working suddenly on fire?
Hmm.
And I'm telling, if you all will do this, switch this up, it's just going to be crazy what's going to happen.
Yeah. I love that, man. So the team is dropping their whys in the comments. That is a fundamental shift for us in the way we see affirmations, but it really does feel different. I was thinking it as you were talking, but to say it out loud, it feels different. So love
It
that.
feels different than I am recruiting all these distributors,
Hmm.
because that's almost stating a fact. When
Yeah.
why am I, it's just saying, why am I recruiting? It's a just shift in energy. You can feel it in your body.
Yeah.
Yes. Write
It
these
feels authentic.
down. Write all of these down. Why do I have so many diamonds? Presidential. Yes. I personally enrolled. Oh, yes. Why am I in the top 150? Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. Why am I so skinny?
Yeah. Somebody put, why am I so fine? Why does my hair always look so good?
Yeah, and once
Love
your
that.
hair start looking good all the time, you just wake up and it's like, ah.
Yes, I'm changing the way I talk about all of this.
Oh
Okay.
yeah.
Why does
Oh
my
gosh,
daughter
you're going
take a
crazy.
2 hour nap every day?
I love this. Why am I losing so much weight after the baby? Doesn't that sound better than anything you've ever said about
It
losing
does.
weight? Yeah.
Man,
Watch the
that
weight.
is everything.
Your body is going to show up for that.
Yes, that is everything. So we have another question from the squad, and it is about how do you find contentment without being complacent?
Well, that's just living in joy.
Mm,
Yeah,
mhm.
I don't think we're ever content, you know, but living in joy, because again, we go back to creation. We're here, we're here to create, and we're not. When we're not is when we're sad.
Mhm.
When we get lazy and we just don't feel as joyful. So really, when you well, this is what happens when you start making all this money and you live in the house and you have the car and you have the clothes and you can pretty much just go anywhere you want. It's just, to me, I never ever take it for granted. I'm always in gratitude. However, once it's there, I don't think, oh, this is getting boring at all, ever. Because a lot of people will say, now, if you can get everything you want, what? But it's still, to me, there's such joy in the creation of that.
Mhm.
Like, it's so there's charities I want to give to. There's like, how can I increase the earnings that I've already earned? I mean, so let's put them here and let's put them there and be a good steward. So again, it goes back to the parable when of the talents, when
Mhm.
the one that hid the talent, the one that took a few and grew a few, and then the one that 10 times it. Well, I
Yeah.
want that, because I don't want it taken away. Because if you're not good with a few, you're not going to be good with the many.
Yeah.
And so I know that for me, I have been blessed. And that's because I'm a blessing. See,
Mhm.
if you look at a mirror and you put your hands out, you see your hands out, it's it's almost like a give and a receive. So it's not receive and give,
Mm.
it's give and receive. So I'm giving of my time, my energy, my knowledge, my wisdom tonight. And I give so much, not to receive. I just know that that's automatic.
Yeah.
It it's the boomerang effect. If I give stagnation, if I give to myself, if I give complacency, if I give dishonor, if I give potato chips, if I give donuts, I'm going to receive a donut body. I'm going to receive complacency back. Nothing's going to grow. Nothing's going to evolve. Nothing's going to change. If I give wisdom, so much wisdom comes back to me.
Mm-hmm.
So I look at the boomerang effect is real. You can call it whatever you want. A lot of people call it different. I just say boomerang to reach all audience.
Yeah.
But the boomerang effect is a law. And
Mm-hmm.
so I know for me to grow, I've got to give growth. If I'm stuck, it's because if I feel like life, I'm walking through tar or quicksand, I got to get moving. I gotta take actions. It's because I'm complacent. I'm content. I'm setting. I'm stifled,
Yeah.
and I'm receiving that back. And so it's the action doesn't show up later. The action needs to show up now. So if you want your team, why am I building such an explosive team? It's because you're explosive. You're coming up out of the gate in the morning just on fire, ready for the world. You jump out of bed. You go brush those teeth. You get that cup of coffee. You read from that inspirational book. You start on those host of posts. You always do. You say I'm gonna do 10. You do 12. You do more.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do 20 follow-ups. No, I do 25 follow-ups.
Mm-hmm.
My trainer, give me 20. I said, I'm going to give you 21 and a half today. 21 and a half. I want to do just a little bit more because I'm going to get back so much more.
Yeah.
Hundredfold, 1,000-fold. Yeah.
Love that. Open your hands and give to receive. That's awesome.
Yeah.
You preached a word there. You preached a word.
Yeah.
So you mentioned that, where we are in business right now, we're in such a great place. We're in a boom, we're moving. What would you say to the team? There's so many people in promoting positions, right? Whether they're going diamond or double diamond or any of
Yeah.
the ranks. We're lifers. So what is your advice to the lifers as we go through these runs?
Well, people are getting paid still today off the 2008, 9, 10, 11, 12 run. I mean, 10 years later, getting paid still. So we're talking about residual
Incredible.
income,
Mm-hmm.
and when you talk about residual income, I would love to be able to sing, but I just can't carry a tune. So I'm not going to make residual income off a movie or a book or off of music or a movie. This is how I make residual income. This is how you make residual income. And there's always times in history in any company where there's massive growth or there's death. And so we're just going through, because of the time that we are in right now, which is a time in the world of scarcity, of just upheaval, lack of jobs, lack of opportunity. People are more receptive. They're more willing to take a look. And when I think about it works, and I know who we are, not just because I have ownership, but because I have ownership. I know who we are. I know the industry. I know other owners. I know other companies. There's a few great ones, and we are one of them. But I would put our compensation plan up against any of them.
Mm-hmm.
And our products up against our leadership, everything. Now, we're not perfect. We're always growing. We're always evolving, but we are so close. And when I think about my daughter being a part of this company, and this is keeping her and her family fed and beyond, and I wouldn't want her doing anything different right now. And so I think about at the periods of time. And I've told her, I said, run like your hair is on fire right now, because you want to go with this wave of momentum, and it's a tidal wave,
Mm.
a tsunami. That's what this is. And you don't want to waste a minute. And I'm not just saying this to get you going. I'm saying this because this is where you'll capitalize, and your fruits may not show up today or next month, or don't get in that scarcity mode. Where's my stuff in 3 or 4 months? It may take a whole year for this to cycle through. But the last time we did this, you've got a team. We've got Carla Burns in, and 17 levels below her is a couple called Stephanie and Joel Dunn.
Wow.
Okay? Think about it.
Mm-hmm.
I can just think of all these people that came in during that time, that ride. And that's when my daughter joined. She was getting out of college. There were no jobs. She said, what else am I going to do? All my friends are going home and sleeping on their parents' couches. I've got to do something different. This is the same type time. However, it's affecting even more people than ever before in the world. We don't want to prey on fear. We're talking about hope.
Mm-hmm.
We're talking about an advantage. We're talking about something that's actually working. Here's your gift. If you want to open it, I would love for you to receive it. If not, that's fine. But I would be asking more, following up more, charting more than ever before, because you will reap the benefits from this harvest for decades. If you're a lifer and you stay in and you build through this time, you're going to have somebody, it may take them a year or two, that comes up under you. They at times they've had 50 million in volume. Do you want that?
Wow.
That's available for you. And we're in open more countries than we were back then. So there's hey, it's not a US effect. It's a worldwide effect. There is different elements to this than we had back then. That was just the US economy. So this is a
Mm-hmm.
global pandemic. And I look at it as a wake-up call for a lot of people. And they've been home now. They like being home. They want to stay home. And we've got an opportunity for them. And I really feel that strongly about it. And I love who we are, what we represent, and what we have for people. A very low entry. There's no front end loading of buying all these products. They can get paid very quickly, recoup their money back very quickly. I mean, Mark and I have thought this thing out. You know, we have been in these positions. We know what it's like, and we know, give, receive. We know. So you should go out into the marketplace, whether that's via any social media platform, and be ready to give, 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 give. Give the gift of the ask. That's where it starts. Then the follow-up, then the follow-through, then the training, and the charting goes along with that. But again, are you prepared for that?
Mm.
Think about it.
Mm-hmm.
Is your desk prepared for that? Is your phone prepared for that? Are you getting on social media and wasting hours of time? Because if you're making, let me just share this with you. And we'll close with this because I know it's been an hour, but let's say that you're making $30,000 a month, which a lot of our people are, and you have every opportunity to do that. And you're working, so we'll divide that by 4 weeks, which is $7,500 a week. And let's say you're putting in about 20 hours, because our people put in 20 or less. You think they put in more, but they don't. So 20. That's $375 an hour.
Wow.
So you're scrolling through your social media, 375, 375, 375. Think about all that. Now, this is residual. So this is just not that hour. You're over compounding over years to come. I mean, that could be times 1,000, which is 37,000, $37,000. You just blew because of that hour on social media. So that's how I look at math and things. I'm like, all right, so this person wants my time. This is what I value it at. Is that somewhere I should be? Is that who I should be spending my time with? Is TikTok worth that to me?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. So work, 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 work. Right now it's work mode.
Yeah.
That's what it is. And then it's pay, 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 pay.
Mm-hmm.
But right now it's work mode.
Yeah.
I would just, and it's fun. It's fun, fun, fun. Yes.
This has been amazing. So prepare, run like your hair is on fire, do more, give more, and we're going to reap the benefits of it for decades. Pam, this has been amazing. We absolutely love you. Thank you for the vision that you stuck with 19 years ago, right? From being in debt, not being paid from this, but stuck with it because of the vision. Thank you so much. You have blessed the team. You've given us so much new perspectives on some things that we've already known, and I expect the Money Squad to see some residual from the things that you share with us tonight.
Oh, they will. And I get your whys right. Why is my business looking like a black diamond business? Oh,
yes.
Yeah.
Yes, love it.
I love it. Good night, everyone. Thank you all so much. Let me get a picture. Hang on. Got to get a picture. All right, everybody, come on. Big smiles. Okay.
Awesome.
Good night, everyone. Thank you for having me. Good night.
Guys, I'm going to end this so I can get the recording and then jump right back on for the power hour. This was great. Thank you so much, Preeti. You're awesome. You're amazing.